Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. So we're continuing with our discussion of Hari Bhakti Vilas. We're in the fifth Vilas. And last time we talked about a few different things. After coming into the temple to worship the deity, there were a few attendant deities that had to be worshipped. And after that, we enter the Garbhagriha, the deity room, and we are going to, we sit down and do the asana suddhi, purify the asana, and get rid of the different spirits and subtle living entities that might disturb our practice. And then there are several things that we have to go through, offering our pranams to the Guru and Ganesh and Durga and Shiva, Chetrapal Shiva, and different personalities. And after that, of course, probably we'd start with performing Achamana. And then after that, we go through the ritual of Buddha Shuddhi. And the Buddha Shuddhi ritual we did in detail last time. So after the Buddha Shuddhi, the next thing is that we come to in Hari Bhakti Vilas is the different nyasas. There are some nyasas. So these are quite complicated. So let's have a look at the Mula first. We'll look at the original Hari Bhakti Vilas, and then we'll try and figure out how to do the actual prayoga, the actual procedure of the different nyasas. So if we look at the text, we left off at text 89. And we are going to, first of all, why don't we go back to text 88? So if we, at the end of text 87, we had pranayamaha, and we learned a couple of different types of pranayamaha in the last session. We learned a pranayamaha or breath control that we can do with the omkara, with the syllable om, by chanting mentally the syllable om a certain number of times while breathing in, holding, and while exhaling. We also learned a Vedic pranayamaha where we use the Vedic mantras of the Vyahritis, the 7 Vyahriti mantras, the Gayatri mantra, and the Gayatri Siris mantra, which are all put together in a mantra called the Dirgha Gayatri mantra. So that's the Vedic pranayamaha. We learned that. And also in Buddha Shuddhi, there was also a type of pranayamaha that we did in Buddha Shuddhi when we were doing the Buddha Shuddhi. So there was basically 2 or 3 different types of pranayama that we already learned. So after the pranayamaha, now we're going to learn about nyasa. So starting from text 88, he talks about nyasa. So it says here, learned authorities have declared that chanting mantras without first performing nyasa is demoniac. And the word asuram is written here, and bipalam. Bipalam means they're without. It's going to be without any fruit. It'll be without any fruit. Therefore, according to the rules and regulations of one sampradaya, one should perform the nyasa kriya. Now, just before we get into doing the nyasas, we have to say that in the Gaudiya Math, Bhakti Pragan Keshava Maharaja, who was the sannyas guru of Srila Prabhupada, of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada of ISKCON, has mentioned in his introduction to the Archana Paddhati. Archana Paddhati is an abbreviated form of deity worship, which is supposed to be based on Hari Bhakti Vilas, given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati for the Gaudiya Math. He has mentioned in his introduction there that he says that pranayamaha, which we just learned about, and also this nyasa kriya, doing the nyasas, or nyasa means touching or placing of different syllables on different parts of the body. He says this is a part of what he calls Japanga Archana. And he calls Japanga Archana the type of Archana or the type of deity worship or the type of worship of the Lord which is fruitive and is not pure. So this idea that he says is part of Japanga Archana, and that he says that we shouldn't use mudras, we shouldn't use nyasas, and we shouldn't use pranayam, because these are all part of what he calls Japanga Archana. There is no he doesn't cite any quotations from any scriptures or anything like that, but this is his opinion. So for those persons who are perhaps following the Gaudiya Math or perhaps following ISKCON, they might want to think about that opinion and consider it. Although today we do see in ISKCON that people tend to use mudras, and maybe mudras became more popular after people in ISKCON started to take notice of Pancharatrins, the Sri Vaishnava Pancharatrins, who are also using mudras. Okay, so anyway, getting that out of the way, that's his opinion. According to Hari Bhakti Vilasa, we are going through Hari Bhakti Vilasa, so we're trying to understand exactly what Hari Bhakti Vilasa tries to tell us to do. And at the same time, we also know that Srila Prabhupada has written in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's opinion was to follow Hari Bhakti Vilasa is to actually follow Gaudiya Vaishnava ritualism perfectly. Even though, obviously, there are some things in Hari Bhakti Vilasa which Gaudiya Vaishnavas don't follow. Still, we want to understand, first of all, the whole system of Hari Bhakti Vilasa. And then, according to our acharyas and according to our spiritual teachers, they can tell us which parts we can use and which parts we don't have to use. But here, it's very clear, there's a very clear pramana here that Gopal Bhatta is saying that without the nyasa, especially the mantra nyasa, which comes before a mantra, there's a difference between mantra nyasa and these other types of nyasas where we touch different parts of the body. But the mantra nyasa, where we are going to declare, before using a mantra, we're going to declare the name of the mantra, the rishi of the mantra, the seer of the mantra, the meter of the mantra, or the poetic meter of the mantra, the chanda, the Viniyogaha, the devata, the god, which is the particular form of god or demigod that is worshipped by the particular mantra, and also the purpose of the mantra, the Viniyogaha of the mantra. We should know all those things, and this is there's a Vedic pramana or Shruti pramana for this in the Chandogya Upanishad. It is said that if you don't know these things, the curse is that your head will explode or your head will break into a million pieces. So if we look at that story, there's a story in Chandogya Upanishad about some sacrifice where the Brahmins didn't know these things, and therefore they were cursed that their heads would explode if they didn't know these things. Now that's backed up by some other scriptures as well, but we have the Shruti pramana, we have this pramana from the Vedas, from the Chandogya Upanishad. So it's a pretty strong pramana to say that you should know these things. Now that has become, that knowing of these things has become that you have to declare them openly, and you have to do the nyasa involved in saying those things, which is the mantra nyasa before the mantra. So here it's also mentioned that you should know it, otherwise you won't get the fruit of the mantra, and you also won't. It's considered to be demonic. But it also says you should do it according to your sampradaya. Okay, so let's continue on. Then text 89, right, talks about what we call matrika nyasa. Now the matrikas means the mothers, but these are expansions of Saraswati. Saraswati, the goddess of learning, expands into 50 different forms, and each form, each letter of the Sanskrit alphabet has a goddess that is the personification of that letter of the alphabet. So these are called the matrikas. So now, what's the point of doing matrika nyasa? The point of doing matrika nyasa is, before we can chant any mantra, we have to propitiate the goddess of the different letters of the alphabet that make up the mantra. Every mantra, every sound is made up of letters, syllables, and the syllables are made up of letters, and the letters are of the Sanskrit alphabet, and each one of them is represented by a particular goddess, and therefore we should propitiate these expansions of the goddess Saraswati, and pray to her to give us the power of the mantra, because to give us the ability to chant properly the mantra, we have to be able to chant properly each and every letter. Okay. So let's continue. So it says, first, one should contemplate the predominating sage, right? So we say the name of the mantra, then we say the rishi or the seer of the mantra. The rhythm, right? Rhythm means so here it's mentioned here, rishi, then it's mentioned chanda. Chanda means the meter or the rhythm of the mantra, right? Devatadi, beginning with these things. The devata is a particular deity of the mantra, right? Then one should perform the nyasa on his head, his face, in front of the nose, right? In front of the nose or the mouth, right? For the chanda, right? And in chest, where the heart is, right? For the devata, for the name of the deity that the mantra is praising. So then it says here, it gives the particular one for this nyasa. So this matrika nyasa, it says Brahma is the predominating sage of the matrika nyasa. Gayatri is the meter, and Goddess Saraswati is the objective, right? So then continuing on with text 90, it says 50 letters are joined in the face, arms, feet, waist, and chest of the Goddess Saraswati, right? Her head is decorated with a moon. Her breasts are high and her waist is thin. Her lotus hands are decorated with a mudra, thread, a pitcher full of nectar and wisdom. Her complexion is very fair and she has 3 eyes. I take shelter of her. So this is the dhyana mantra or the meditation mantra, which follows the mantra nyasa. When you're doing mantra nyasa or you're going to use any mantra, first of all, you do the mantra nyasa, right? By touching the head and saying the name of the mantra and the rishi of the mantra. Put it in front of the face, in front of the nose or mouth, by saying the rhythm or the meter of the mantra, the chanda, touching the heart and saying the devata of the mantra, folding your hands in once or 3 times towards the self, saying the purpose of the mantra, the viniyogaha, right? And then after you do that, then you do a dhyanam, you do a meditation on the particular devata, the particular deity which is being propitiated by the mantra. So this is the dhyana mantra here, meditating on Saraswati and how she has 50 different parts to her, right? Which are each considered to be a letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. So then it says, without adding the Anushwara. Anushwara means that M with a dot on the top or underneath it, depending on how you make the transliteration, right? And it's a pure nasal sound, right? Without adding the Anushwara, a devotee should perform the nyasa of the letters, beginning with A, right? The first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet is A, I, U. It starts out with the vowels, ending up and up to Ksha. The last letter of the Sanskrit alphabet after Ha is actually a conjunct consonant Sha, K-S-H-A, Sha, right? On each bodily limb, including the forehead, right? So continuing on with, we'll explain how to exactly do this in a minute. So first of all, let's look at the slokas of Hari Bhakti Vilasa. So text 92 and 93 explains the places where the nyasa is to be applied. Now, when we do this, when we're touching different parts of the body and saying the mantras, some of these places are below the waist, or some of these places we don't. What we do is we just take the 4 fingers of the hand, unless otherwise stated, 4 fingers of the right hand near to the place that is indicated and say the mantra. We don't necessarily have to actually touch, because as I said in the previous class, if we actually touch that place, right, it may be a place that we have to wash our hands, like the nose or the mouth, or some part below the waist, which if we touch, we have to wash our hands afterwards. So better just to do it by bhava, do it by we think about the particular place the hand near that place and say the mantra. So here are the different places that are it's said to touch, right? So forehead, face, eyes, ears, nostrils, cheeks, lips, teeth, head, mouth, arms, thighs, palms, toes, the two sides, back, navel, abdomen, chest, the left shoulder, the right shoulder, from the chest to the palm of each hand and to the soles of the feet. One should perform the nyasa in all these places one by one. Okay, so continuing on. Text 94. The devotee should then perform nyasa with all the letters upon these limbs by adding the visarga. Okay, so first of all, we do it with anushwara, this pure nasal, and secondly, we do it with the visarga. The visarga is the H with the dot underneath it. It makes an echo of the vowel that comes before it. So if we have aha, aha, ihi, ihi, uhu, uhu, ehi, ihau, ehe, ihi, oho, and auhu. Right? These are the echoes that we get when we put the different vowels before visarga. So visarga is that H with a dot under it letter, and that is it's like an echo. So the devotee should then perform the nyasa with all the letters upon the same limbs, adding the visarga. It should be done 4 times. 4 times. So now text 95 and 96 talks about the process of performing matrika nyasa. There is a 16 petal, 12 petal, 10 petal, 4 petal, 6 petal, 4 petal, and 2 petal flower situated in the throat, chest, navel, genitals, anus, and between the eyebrows. Okay, so what we're describing here is what we discussed before, is the chakra system of understanding the energy points in the body. One should, and there are these different chakras, and each of these power centers within the body, different parts of the body, running up and down the spine, right? Each of them from the Muladhara to the Sahasradhala, from the base of the spine up to the top of the head, right? These each of them is considered to be like a lotus flower. These lotus flowers have different numbers of petals. If we add up all the petals, we get 50. Each petal has a different letter of the alphabet on it, right? So one should perform the nyasa on the tip of each of the petals, along with the letter, along with visarga. Remember that echo, that H with a dot under letter. Okay, in this way, there will be totally 50 letters in the alphabet. With each letter, one should perform nyasa by adding visarga. Okay, so that now text 97, we go on to what's called Keshavadi Nyasa, which is a different nyasa. So now we've gone through the Mula Slokas, the original verses about Matrika Nyasa. Now we're going to look at the purport, at the commentary by Sanatana Goswami, explaining exactly how to do this. So we're going to share the screen about Matrika Nyasa, and we'll see exactly how to do this. So now, Matrika Nyasa is described in Haribhakti Vilas 588 to 96. Without doing this, chanting all mantras are demoniac and unfruitful. You won't get any fruit from them. So it must be done 4 times, according to verse 94 of the 5th chapter. So here's the description of how to perform it. We're chanting Om Bahir Matrika Nyasa Mantrasya Brahma Rishihi, touch the top of the head, or just near the top of the head, right? Devi Gayatri Chandaha, right? Gives us that gives us the Brahma is a Rishi, right? And Gayatri is the Chandaha. Gayatri is the meter, right? So in front of the tip of the nose, right? With the 4 fingers. Matrika Saraswati Devata, touch the heart. Halo Bijani, touch the right side of the chest, right? Swaraha Shaktayaha, touch the left side of the chest. Shaktayo Matrika Nyase Viniyogaha, turning upturned palms together towards the chest. Viniyogaha. So then, again, with folded palms, we're going to chant the Dhyana mantra, or the meditation mantra on Saraswati, right? Pancha shall lipibir vibhakta mukta dohapan madhya vaksha stalim bhavan moli nibada chandra sakalam apina tunga stanim mudra aksha gunam sudhadya kalasam vidyam chahastam bhujair Vibranam Vishada Prabham Trinayanam Vagdevatam Ashraye. I take shelter of Vagdevi. Vagdevi means Saraswati. So that means 50 letters have been joined to represent the face, feet, waist, and breasts of Goddess Saraswati. Her head is decorated with a moon, her breasts are high, and her waist is thin. Her lotus hands are decorated with a mudra, thread, and pot of nectar and wisdom. Pot of nectar and wisdom. Her complexion is very fair, and she has 3 eyes. I take shelter of her. And this is from Hari Bhakti Vilasa, 590. So now we have these different methods of doing the mantra vinyasa, and there are these four methods. So the first method, which was mentioned, was without any visarga or anushvara, without anushvara and without visarga. So we go namaha, and we touch we're going to chant all of the letters of the alphabet, and we're going to add namaha at the end, and then we're going to touch the different things. So here I've given a list of the place to be touched, followed by the fingers, which are to touch the different place. So with we do this with the fingers of the right hand, which we touch, unless it's said otherwise. So namaha, touch the forehead with the middle and ring finger of the right hand, right? So namaha, touch the face with the index and middle finger of the right hand. Namaha, touch the right eye with the thumb and ring finger of the right hand. Namaha, touch the left eye, right, with the thumb and ring finger of the right hand. Namaha, touch the right ear with the thumb. Namaha, touch the left ear with the thumb. Rin namaha, touch the right nostril with the thumb and little finger. Ri namaha, touch the left nostril with the thumb and little finger. Ri namaha, touch the right cheek with the index, middle, and ring finger. Ri namaha, touch the left cheek with the index, middle, and ring finger. E namaha, touch the upper lip, and we don't actually touch, but just near to the places. E namaha, touch the upper lip with the middle finger. I namaha, touch the lower lip with the middle finger. O namaha, touch the upper teeth with the ring finger. You don't actually touch the teeth, but just in front of the upper lip, we can do that. Au namaha, touch the lower teeth with the ring finger. Am namaha, touch the middle, touch the head with the middle finger. Aha namaha, touch the mouth with the ring finger. Ka namaha, touch the right shoulder with the middle finger. Ka namaha, touch the right elbow with the middle finger. Ga namaha, touch the right wrist with the middle finger. Now, touching the right wrist with the middle finger may be very difficult to do with the right hand. So if we can't do it with the right hand, then we have to do it with the left hand. So, Ga namaha, touch the right finger's base, the base of the right fingers with the middle finger. Na namaha, touch the right fingertips with the middle finger. So obviously, with the middle finger, how can you touch the tip of the finger? You have to use the other hand. So cha namaha, touch the left shoulder with the middle finger. Cha namaha, touch the left elbow with the middle finger. Janamaha, touch the left wrist with the middle finger. Janamaha, touch the base of the left fingers with the middle finger. Jnanamaha, touch the left fingers tips with the middle finger. Tanamaha, touch the right hip with the middle finger. Tanamaha, touch the right knee with the middle finger. Dhanamaha, touch the right ankle with the middle finger. Dhanamaha, touch the right toes with the base of the right toes with the middle finger. And we just touch near these places. And by meditation, touching the places. Nanamaha, touch the tips of the right toes with the middle finger. Tanamaha, touch the left hip with the middle finger. Tanamaha, touch the left knee with the middle finger. Dhanamaha, touch the left ankle with the middle finger. Dhanamaha, touch the base of the left toes with the middle finger. Nanamaha, touch the left toes tips with the middle finger. Hanamaha, touch the right side with the middle finger. Hanamaha, touch the left side middle with the middle finger. Bhanamaha, touch the back, the middle of the back with the ring and the little finger. Bhanamaha, touch the navel with the thumb. Manamaha, touch the stomach with the thumb, index, middle, ring, and little fingers. Means all the 5 fingers together. Yanamaha, touch the heart with the whole palm. Ranamaha, touch the right shoulder with the thumb. Lanamaha, touch the back of the neck with the thumb. Vanamaha, touch the left shoulder with the thumb. Shanamaha, touch the right arm with the whole palm, right? If you can't do that, then you have to do it with the other hand. Shanamaha, touch the heart with the left arm. Excuse me. Shanamaha, we're going to touch from one place to another, from starting with the sibilants. So we got Shanamaha, touch from the heart to the right arm, right? Shanamaha, touch the heart to the left arm, right? Sanamaha, touch the heart to the right leg, with the whole palm. Hanamaha, touch the heart to the left leg with the whole palm. And Kshanamaha, which is the 50th one, touch the heart to the stomach with the whole palm. Okay, so that's the first way of doing it. Remember, we have to do this 4 times. The fingers and the places to touch are exactly the same with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th times, and also the letters of the alphabet. The difference is the 2nd time we add Anushwara. So instead of saying Ah Namaha, touch the forehead with the middle and ring finger, we say Am Namaha. So we add Anushwara this time. So we add Anushwara to all those different letters and touch all those different places. Now the third way of doing it is to add the Visarga, Aha. So instead of im, right? First of all, we did it with just the letter e. Now then we did it with the Anushwara, im. Now we're doing with the Visarga, aha, ihi, like that. Then we do that, and then the 4th method of doing it, the 4th way of doing it, right, which is done the 4th time, is we have to do it first of all with the Anushwara, and second with the Visarga. So we say Am Aha Namaha, Am Aha Namaha, Im Ihi Namaha, Im Ihi Namaha, Uhu Namaha, Uhu Namaha, like that. So we have to say it first with the Anushwara, then with the Visarga. So these are the 4 methods of doing Matrika Nyasa. These are the 4 methods of doing Matrika Nyasa, so we have to go through this 4 times, and then we finish the Matrika Nyasa. So now it's also mentioned antar mantrikanyasa. One now has to perform the mantrikanyasa internally on the different chakras of the body as follows, right? So remember we were talking about the different chakras. So first thing is we do it external mantrikanyasa, which is done on the outside of the body. Next, we're going to do the internal, the antar mantrikanyasa, which is mentioned in verses 95 to 96 of Hari Bhakti Vilasa. So what I've done is given the place, the name of the chakra, right? The number of petals, the color of the chakra to be meditated upon in the body, the power center. Letters to be started on the petals, starting from the east and going clockwise. So when we look at a lotus, when we meditate upon a chakra in the body, we meditate upon it as being a lotus, and normally, when we look at that lotus, the petal which is up to us, which looks like up, is the one that we're going to start with, and we're going to go round clockwise. We're going to go clockwise around, so we consider that up to be east, right? So east, south, west, north. Okay. Like that, if there were 4 petals. And there are different numbers of petals, so there'll be different, but we go from one petal to the next petal. Okay? So letters are to be placed on the petals, starting in the east and going clockwise. This should be done by adding the Anushwara. So we're going to add the Anushwara, and these are the different petals of the different chakras. So we have the Muladhara chakra. The Muladhara chakra is near the anus, right? Now, obviously, right, we're not touching any of these places, but we're doing this by meditation. So no color is mentioned, so it's a clear color, a transparent color. And we mention the letters from Va, Sha, Sha, and Sa, right? So it'd be Vam Namaha, Vam. So we meditate upon there being a lotus petal, right, in the body, a subtle lotus petal in the body near the anus in the Muladhara chakra with 4 petals, starting with the top petal and going going east, south, west, and north, right? We mentally will place these bija mantras, and we'll offer our obeisances to these different petals like that by saying Vam Namaha, Sham Namaha, Sham Namaha, Sam Namaha, moving upwards to the next chakra in the body, right? The next chakra is near the genitals, and it's called the Swadhisthana chakra. So the Swadhisthana chakra is yellow in color, so it's a yellow lotus, right? And here it has 6 petals. So starting again from the top petal and going round to the right, clockwise, right? We say Bham Namaha, Bham Namaha, Mam Namaha, Yam Namaha, Ram Namaha, Lam Namaha on those 6 petals. The next chakra will be the Manipura chakra. The Manipura chakra. So we should meditate upon enlivening all these different chakras in the body. So the Manipura chakra is near the navel, right? And it's red in color, and it has 10 petals. So we chant the following mantras, starting and going clockwise around. Dam Namaha, Dam Namaha, Nam Namaha, Tam Namaha, Tam Namaha, Dam Namaha, Dam Namaha, Nam Namaha, Pam Namaha, Pam Namaha. Continuing up the spine, up the Kundalini, we are coming to the Anahata chakra. The Anahata chakra is the heart chakra. It has 12 petals. It is golden in color, right? There's a difference between yellow and golden, right? So previously we had the Swadhisthana chakra was yellow, right? So it's important in meditation to remember the different colors of these chakras. So the heart chakra is situated in the middle of the chest. Anahata chakra, gold in color, and 12 petals. Here are the mantras to meditate upon, touching these different petals and offering obeisances to the deities of the forms of Saraswati that reside in these different petals. Kam Namaha, Kam Namaha, Gam Namaha, Gam Namaha, Nam Namaha, Cham Namaha, Cham Namaha, Jam Namaha, Jam Namaha, Nyam Namaha, Tam Namaha, and Tam Namaha. Continuing up the body, up the Kundalini, we come to the throat chakra or the Vishuddha chakra, which has 16 petals and is white in color. So here are the mantras to be chanted, meditating upon the different petals. Am Namaha, Am Namaha, Im Namaha, Im Namaha, 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 Rim Namaha, Rim Namaha, Rim Namaha, Rim Namaha, Em Namaha, Aim Namaha, Om Namaha, Aum Namaha, Am Namaha, Aha Namaha. Continuing from the throat chakra up to between the eyebrows, we have what's called the Agya chakra. The Agya chakra has 2 petals, and the 2 petals are usually shown as coming out each side like that. So I'm not sure which one you start with. Normally, if you start with the east, you would then go to the south and go around like that, or perhaps you should start with the north. It says starting with the east, so, so east is usually considered straight up. So we then go around and we come first of all to the petal which is pointing to the right, and then go around to the petal which is pointing to the left. So this chakra is a 2-petal lotus, and it's red in color. So then we finally say Ham Namaha, Cham Namaha. So this is the process of performing the Antar Mantra Vinyasa. So we have 2 types of Mantra Vinyasa. We have the external Mantra Vinyasa, and we have the internal Mantra Vinyasa. The external Mantra Vinyasa is done by touching near the places on the body as follows, and it's done 4 times. After that's done, we do the internal Mantra Vinyasa, which is a meditation on the Kundalini, on the different chakras, from the Muladhara chakra up to the Agya chakra, which is between the eyebrows. Okay. Any questions about that? Right. It's very complicated, and I think I had one student in Croatia, Gopalapriya, and he I'll search for it, but I think he made a small PDF with a diagram of a human body showing where to touch and how to do the gases. So if I find it, then I'll pass it on to everybody. Okay, so the next part, we're going to continue on. So now that we've done the Mantra Vinyasa means we've gotten the grace of Saraswati in all her forms, all her 50 forms, as the predominating deity of each letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. Now we truly will get fruit from any mantra that we chant. And without her grace, we will get no fruit from any mantra that we chant. So this Mantra Vinyasa is very important. It's done externally 4 times and internally 1 time. Okay. So now let's have a look at Hari Bhakti Vilasa again. We're going to go to the next nyasa that we do. The next nyasa that we do is called Keshavadi nyasa. Now, Keshava, as we know in the Pancharatric system, there are 5 forms of God: Karnika Vyuha, Vibhava, Antayaman, and Archa. Okay, and of these 5 forms of God, we have the original personality of Godhead, and then we have 4 expansions from him. Those expansions, according to the Pancharatra system, are called Vyuhas: Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. From those 4 Vyuhas, we have expansions which are called Upa-Vyuhas. The Upa-Vyuhas are Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudana, Trikma, Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, and Damodara. So from the 4 Vyuhas, we have 3 expansions of each one of those 4, making up 12. So normally when we see in Sanskrit, we see the word Keshavadi. If we see Keshavadi, it means beginning with Keshava. So normally beginning with Keshava means Keshava to Damodar. But we'll see here, there may be more than just 12 deities here. But anyhow, we're starting off with different forms of Lord Vishnu, and beginning with the form Keshava. And we are going to do a nyasa involving the names of the Lord and also the names of each form of Vishnu's consort. So each form of Vishnu also has a consort, Lakshmi, and that Lakshmi also has a specific name according to the form of Vishnu. So after remembering the predominating sage, the meter, and the objective of the mantra, one should perform the nyasa as mentioned above, along with the predominating deities headed by Keshava and the Lord's energies headed by Kirti. So Kirti is the consort of Keshava. The names of these deities and energies, right, should end in the fourth dative case. So as normal, when we offer something to a deity, we take the name of the deity and we put it in the dative case or the fourth case in Sanskrit. That fourth case ending is usually, for instance, if we have Krishna, Krishnaya. Krishnaya is the fourth case ending for Krishna. If we have Vishnu, it's Vishnave, right? Or Guru, Guruve. Unto Krishna, unto the Guru, unto Vishnu, right? So 2 or 4, it means two or four, that personality. The names of these deities and energies should end in the fourth dative case, and they are completed by the word namaha. Namaha meaning my obeisances unto you, right? Not you, me. Well, not me, you. Right? My obeisance unto you. Maha means me. Namaha means not me. It means obeisances to you. Just like when we say namaskaram or namaste, it means obeisance to you. For example, and here are some examples. Am Keshavaya Kirtyai Namaha. Am Narayanaya Kantyai Namaha. So these are 2 examples which are given. So continuing on to text 98. To perform the nyasa from the letter ya to the letter ksha, right? So in the Sanskrit alphabet has a certain order. When we get to ya, ya is the beginning of what we call the semivowels. After the semivowels, we get sibilants, then we get the aspirate, and then we get this conjunct letter ksha. And then we finish the alphabet. We finish the 50 letters of the alphabet. One should use each letter with the proper ending in terms of the conjunction of verbs, and then add the names of the 7 bodily elements: skin, flesh, bone, marrow, blood, semen, fat, as well as the life air, the living force, and anger, right? For example, Yang Tvagatmane Purushottamaya Vasudhaye Namaha Ram Mamsatmane Baline Paraye Namaha, right? And there's a meditation for this. So let us, okay. So let's look at the meditation. Text 99 gives us the dhyana mantra for this. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose effulgence is like that of hundreds of rising suns, whose complexion is like molten gold, who is served on both sides by Kamala and Bhumi. Kamala meaning Lakshmi and Bhumi meaning Bhudevi, the goddess of the earth, who is dressed in yellow garments, who is decorated with many brightly shining jeweled ornaments, and who holds a conch shell, club, disc, and lotus in his 4 hands. So this is the dhyana mantra. So remember, first of all, when we do a nyasa, right, we do the mantra nyasa first by touching the head, the nose, the heart, and doing the vidyogaha, telling the purpose of the mantra. And then after that, we have a dhyana mantra, which we chant out loud, meditating upon the particular form of the deity that we're worshipping with this nyasa. And then we can do the nyasa after that. So texts 100 to 106. So I think now we're getting into the Murti Nyasa. Murti Nyasa. So why don't we first of all, before we go to text 100 to 106, let's look at the Keshavadi Nyasa, right, in detail. So after the Matrika Nyasa, the next thing to be done is the Keshavadi Nyasa. The Keshavadi Nyasa, right, comes from Hari Bhakti Vilasa, the 5th Vilasa, text 97 to 116. So first of all, what is the mantra nyasa for the Keshavadi Nyasa? So again, with the 4 fingers of the right hand, right, tips, Om Keshavadi Matrika Mantrasya Daksha Prajapati Rishihi. We say the Rishi of the mantra. Anustup Chandaha say the meter of the mantra. Shri Lakshmi Narayano Devate. The word Devate is dual. It's because the mantras, the devatas of this mantra are Lakshmi Narayana. There are two of them, right? So Lakshmi and Narayana. So then touching the right side of the chest, Klim Bijam, right? Touching the left side of the chest, Swaha Shaktihi. Then doing the Viniyogaha, right? Mama Sarva Papa Kshaya, Purvaka Anga Sudyarte Keshavadi Matrikanyase Viniyogaha. What that means is the purpose of this mantra is to destroy sins, to destroy all my sins, and to give purity for all of my limbs, and by doing the Keshava. The Matrikanyasa starting with Keshava. So here again we have this dhyana mantra. So after that we do the dhyana mantra. Udyat Prajyotana Shataruchim Tapta Hema Vadanam Harshva Dvanve Jaladi Sutaya Vishvadhatriya Chajustan Nana Ratno Lasita Vividha Kalpam Apita Vastram Vishnum Vande Dara Kamala Komadaki Chakra Panim. So this is Hari Bhakti Vilasa 599. Right? I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of God, whose effulgence is like that of hundreds of rising suns, whose complexion is like molten gold, who is served on both sides by Kamala and Bhumi, who is dressed in yellow garments, and who is decorated with many brightly shining jeweled ornaments, and who holds a conch shell, disc, and lotus in his four hands. Okay, so then here is the nyasa. Now, after we do the meditation, then we do the nyasa. So we are going to be adding, we're going to be doing like this. Shrim Klim Am, Keshavaya Kirtaya Namaha, touching the forehead with the middle and ring fingers of the right hand. Shrim Klim Am, Narayanaya Kantya Namaha, touch the face with the index and middle fingers. Shrim Klim Im Madhavaya Tushkai Namaha, touch the right eye with the thumb and ring finger. Shrim Klim Im Govindaya Pushkai Namaha, touch the left eye with the thumb and ring finger. Shrim Klim Vishnave Vrityai Namaha, touch the right ear with the thumb. Shrim Klim Marusudanaya Shantyai Namaha, touch the left ear with the thumb. Shrim Klim Rim Trivikramaya Kriyaye Namaha, touch the right nostril with the thumb and little finger. Shrim Klim Rim Vamanaya Gayaye Namaha, touch the left nostril with the thumb and little finger. Shrim Klim Rim Sridharaya Medaye Namaha, touch the right cheek, index with the index, middle, and ring finger. Shrim Klim Rim Rishikeshaya Harshaye Namaha, touch the left cheek, index with the index and middle and ring finger. Shrim Klim Aim Padmanabhaya Shradhaye Namaha, touch the upper lip with the middle finger. Shrim Klim Aim Damodaraya Lajjaye Namaha, touch the lower lip with the middle finger. Shrim Klim Om Vasudevaya Lakshmiyai Namaha, touch the upper teeth with the ring finger. Shrim Klim Om Sankarshanaya Saraswatyai Namaha, touch the lower teeth with the ring finger. Shrim Klim Am Pradyumnaya Prityai Namaha, touch the head with the middle finger. Shrim Klim Aha Anirudaya Ratyai Namaha, touch the mouth with the ring finger. Shrim Klim Kam Chakrine Jayai Namaha, touch the right shoulder with the middle finger. Shrim Klim Kam Gadine Durgai Namaha, touch the right elbow with the middle finger. Shrim Klim Gam Shangine Prabhaye Namaha. Touch the right wrist with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Gam, Kadgini, Satyaye, Namaha. Touch the base of the right finger with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Nam, Shankine, Chandikaye, Namaha. Touch the tips of the right fingers with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Cham, Haline, Vanyai, Namaha. Touch the left shoulder with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Cham, Mushaline, Vilasinyai, Namaha. Touch the left elbow with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Jam, Shuline, Vijayai, Namaha. Touch the left wrist with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Jam, Pashine, Virajai, Namaha. Touch the base of the left fingers with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Ngam, Ankushine, Vishvai, Namaha. Touch the tips of the left fingers with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Tam, Mukundaya, Vinadaye, Namaha. Touch the right hip with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Tam, Nandajaya, Sunandaye, Namaha. Touch the right knee with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Dham, Nandine, Smrityai, Namaha. Touch the right ankle with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Dham, Naraya, Ridyai, Namaha. Right, touch the base of the right toes with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Nam, Narakajite, Samridyai, Namaha. Touch the tips of the right toes with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Tam, Haraye, Shudaye, Namaha. Touch the left hip with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Tam, Krishnaya, Udyai, Namaha. Touch the left knee with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Dam, Satyaya, Mutyai, Namaha. Touch the left ankle with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Dam, Satyaya, Hatyai, Namaha. Touch the left toes with the base of the left toes with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Nam, Shoraye, Shamaye, Namaha. Touch the tips of the left toes with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Palm, Suraye, Ramaye, Namaha. Shuraya Ramaye, Namaha. Touch the right side with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Palm, Janardanaya, Umaye, Namaha. Touch the left side with the middle finger. Shrim, Klim, Bam, Udharaya, Kledinyai, Namaha. Touch the back with the middle, ring, and little fingers. Shrim, Klim, Bam, Vishwamotaye, Klinaye, Namaha. Touch the navel with the thumb. Shrim, Klim, Bam, Vaikuntaya, Vasudhaye, Namaha. Touch the stomach with the thumb, index, middle, ring, and little fingers. That means with all the fingers together. Shrim, Klim, Yam, Tvagatmane, Purushottamaya, Vasudhaye, Namaha. Touch the heart with the whole palm. Shrim, Klim, Ram, Asrigatmane, Balinye, Paraya, Namaha. Touch the right shoulder with the thumb. Shrim, Klim, Lam, Mams Atmane, Balanujaya, Parayanaye, Yayi, Namaha. Touch the back of the neck with the thumb. Shrim, Klim, Vam, Nidatmane, Balaya, Shukshmaye, Namaha. Touch the left shoulder with the thumb. Shrim, Klim, Sham, Astyatmane, Rishiknaya, Sanjaye, Namaha. Touch the heart to the right arm with the whole palm. Heart to the right arm. So, like that. Shrim, Klim, Sham, Majatmane, Vishaya, Pragyaye, Namaha. Touch the heart to the left arm with the whole palm. Shrim, Klim, Sam, Sukratmane, Hamsaya, Prabhaye, Namaha. Touch the heart to the right leg with the whole palm. Shrim, Klim, Ham, Pranatmane, Rahaya, Nishayi, Namaha. Touch the heart to the left leg with the whole palm. Shrim, Klim, Lam. This letter is only in Vedic Sanskrit and some South Indian languages. This is a different type of L. instead of the L that we normally, when we say la, the tongue is further forward. But if we put the tongue further back towards the top of the mouth, la, if we say it la, 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 right? This is the Vedic L. So Shrim Klim Ram, right? Jivatmane, Vimalaya, Amogaye, Namaha. Touch the heart to the stomach with the whole palm. And finally, the 51st thing is Shrim Klim Sham Prodatmane, Nrsimhaya, Vidyutaye Namaha. Heart, the heart to the mouth. The heart to the mouth with the whole palm. Okay, and that is the explanation of the Keshavadinyasa. Okay, so any questions about the Keshavadinyasa? So first of all, after the Buddha Shuddhi, the first thing we did was the Matrika Nyasa. Then after the Matrika Nyasa, and the Matrika Nyasa is done 4 times externally and 1 time internally. There's the Bahir Matrika Nyasa and the Antir Matrika Nyasa. Then we do the Keshavadinyasa. So that's the Keshavadinyasa that we just did. Okay, so then we continue on. Let's look at the original Hari Bhakti Vilasa and see what we do next. Okay, so Keshavadinyasa, we did that, including the Dhyanam. And this explains about the 51 different types of these are the different forms that we mentioned, the 51 forms. We had 50 forms of Saraswati corresponding to the 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet. We added 1 more letter to the Sanskrit alphabet. Not sure how we deal with the idea of propitiating 50 letters of the alphabet and then having another one. But somehow or other we added this other letter, which is the Vedic L, or which is also pronounced further back in the throat, the Ra. The 51 forms of the Supreme Lord, according to the Matrika Varnas, are Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudana, Trivikram, Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, Damodara. When it says Keshavadi, that's what it normally means, is Keshava to Damodar. Then considering on, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Chakri, Gadi, Shangi, Kangi, Shanki, Hali, Musali. You'll see that some of these are also weapons of the Lord. Shuli, Pashi, Ankushi, Mukunda, Nandaja, Nandi, Nara, Narakajit, Hari, Sri Krishna, Satya, Shatvata, Shauri, Shura, Janardana, Bhudara, Vishwamurti, Vaikunta, Purushottama, Bali, Balanuja, Bala, Vrishagna, Visha, Hamsa, Varaha, Vimala, and Narasimha. Narasimha, of course, being associated with the last letter of these matrikas, the Ksha, which means destruction or hurt, killing. So, continuing on with the Mula text of Hari Bhakti Vilasa, the 51 names of the energies of the Lord for the Matrika Varnas, which we just saw when we went through the 50 names and also the 50 consorts of each form of the Lord, of the 51 forms of the Lord. And the 50 consorts are going to be explained here, right? So the 51 names of the energies of the Lord, or the consorts of each of these 51 forms of the Lord, according to the Matrika Varnas, are Kirti, Kanti, Tushti, Pushti, Driti, Shanti, Kriya, Daya, Meda, Harsha, Shraddha, Laja, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Preeti, Rati, Jaya, Durga, Prabha, Satya, Chandika, Kali, Yuddha Vilasini, Vijaya, Viraja, Vishva, Vinada, Sunanda, Smriti, Vriddhi, Samriddhi, Shuddhi, Buddhi, Mukti, Nati, Chama, Rama, Uma, Kledini, Klina, Vasudha, Para, Parayana, Shukshma, Sandhya, Pragya, Prabha, Nisha, Amoga, and Vidyuta. One who properly performs the Keshavadi Nyasa achieves all opulence in this world and obtains the same features as the Lord in the next. In other words, he'll obtain Swarupya, what we call Swarupya Mukti. There are different forms of moksha which are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. They all begin with S. Swarupya, Samipya, Sarshti, and Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sarshti. And Sayuj is another one, but that's different. Okay, so anyway, let's continue on. Text 113. In this regard, one who daily performs the nyasa with the holy names such as Keshava, along with the appropriate letters, while meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as mentioned above, undoubtedly attains knowledge and a long duration of life, good memory, patience, glories, influence, wealth, and good fortune. Text 114, it is also said elsewhere, as soon as one performs the Keshavadi Nyasa, one becomes qualified to achieve the same bodily features as the Supreme Lord. Of this, there is no doubt. So the idea is by the Bhuta Shuddhi, we created ourselves a pure spiritual form with which we can serve the Lord. Here, the Keshavadi Nyasa, what the Keshavadi Nyasa is saying is that we want to make our form, we're trying to make our spiritual form into a form which has the same is of the same bodily nature as the Lord's form. In other words, it would be like if we went to Sri Vaikuntha and we got the same bodily features as the Lord, almost the same, right? Bodily features of the Lord, the Swarupya Mukti, right? And then we serve the Lord in that form. So the idea is that the devotee is meditating upon his form as not only being completely pure, but being like the Lord's form. Now, of course, in later Gaudiya Vaishnavism, there was this idea of doing Raganuga Bhakti and meditating upon the eternal form of a particular associate, a servant of a particular associate that one meditates upon, called the Siddha Deha, or the perfected form. So in Raganuga Bhakti, this Keshavadi Nyasa probably wouldn't be there, because the Keshavadi Nyasa is meditating upon taking the form like the form of Lord Vishnu when one goes to Vaikuntha, Swarupya Mukti. Whereas in Raganuga Bhakti, people are thinking about being the form of a cowherd boy, or the form of a gopika, or a manjari, like that, in a particular Siddha Deha. And there are other books to teach us about Raganuga Bhakti and the practices of Raganuga Bhaktis. But so here, because Hari Bhakti Vilasa is basically giving us practices for Vaidhi Bhakti, right? So this is Keshavadi Nyasa is done like this. Whereas in Raganuga Bhakti, there would be a meditation on the Siddha Deha, according to the Ekadas Bhavas, the different 11 aspects of a person's personality, as meditated upon being a personal servant or a personal associate of the Lord, of Lord Krishna. Okay, so continuing on with text 115 to 116. One who performs the Keshavadi Nyasa while chanting the Lakshmi Bija first. Remember, when we did the Keshavadi Nyasa, we chanted the Shrim Bij first, Shrim Klim. We chanted Shrim Klim. So the Shrim Bij should be added to that, to the Keshavadi Nyasa, right? So you can do it without the Shrim Bij, you can do it without the Klim Bij, but here in Hari Bhakti Vilasa, it's telling you that if you do it with those Bijas, it'll be better. So one who performs the Keshavadi Nyasa while chanting the Lakshmi Bija first attains devotion, liberation, material enjoyment, and the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. A learned devotee who follows this procedure and chants the Lakshmi Bija achieves fame in this life and the same bodily features as the Lord in the next life. So he also attains the Swarupa Mukti. So that's the end of the section on Keshavadi Nyasa. Now we're going to come to the Tattva Nyasa. Tattva Nyasa. Tattva means a principle, particular principle, or a particular category. So now we're going to get the process of performing Tattva Nyasa. So once again, after the Buddha Shuddhi, we did the Matrika Nyasa with the letters, the 50 letters of the alphabet, to propitiate the 50 aspects of the goddess Saraswati, and we place those on externally on our body, and also internally on the different petals of the different lotuses in the different chakra centers of the Kundalini in the body. Then we did the Keshavadi Nyasa, where instead of 50, we had 51 letters of the alphabet because we added that Vedic Sanskrit Allah. And we associated that with 51 forms of the Lord and forms of Lakshmi, right? And also we added before them the Shrim and Kliyam, we added the Lakshmi Bij and the Kama Bij, according to the prescriptions in the commentary of Sanatana Goswami, the Digdarshini Tika. So now we're going to look at the Tattva Nyasa. Tattva Nyasa is the next Nyasa to be performed. So first, one should chant Namaha Paraya, then Atmane Paraya, Namaha. And while adding Visarga, remember Visarga is that H with the dot under it, at the end of each letter, beginning with Ma up to Ka. Okay, so Ma to Ka in the Sanskrit alphabet, the letter Ma represents the Jivatman, and the letter Ka is the first consonant in the series of consonants in the Sanskrit alphabet. So if we go from Ma to Ka, it's actually a reverse order, a reverse alphabetical order. It's a reverse alphabetical order. Up until now, we've been doing nyasas, and we be doing types of matrika nyasas. Even Keshavadi Nyasa involves some letters of the alphabet, right? So it's a type of matrika nyasa. So we've been doing it in a particular order. When we did the Antar Matrika Nyasa, because of the different letters that are involved in different petals on the lotuses, which mark the different chakras in the Kundalini system, right? We had a slightly different order of alphabetical letters. Here, we're going to do the consonants, some of the consonants, the five vargas of consonants, 25 letters, starting with the last one, M, and going back to Ka, Ma to Ka, right? So it'll be a reverse order. So an example is given here. So Mam Namaha Paraya Jivatmane Namaha. Bham Namaha Paraya Pranatmane Namaha. And for anybody who's conversant with the deity installation, they'll probably realize that this sounds very much like the Jivadi Tattva Nyasas and Jivadi Tattva Homa that is performed in the installation of the deity in the Pancharatric system, especially according to Padma Samhita. So Mam Namaha, for instance, here we have the example given, Mam Namaha Paraya Jivatmane Namaha. Mam Namaha Paraya Spatikabhashaya Jivatatvatmake Swaha is the first ahuti, the first oblation offered into the fire in Jivadi Tattva Homa. So anybody who's familiar with that, if you're not familiar with that, then just ignore that. Okay, so anyway, Mam Namaha Paraya Jivatmane Namaha, Bham Namaha Paraya Pranatmane Namaha. In this way, one should perform Jiva Tattva Nyasa, right? Jiva Tattva Nyasa. Okay, so in the beginning it's called Tattva Nyasa, and down here it's called Jiva Tattva Nyasa. Only after performing this Nyasa, this Jiva Tattva Nyasa or Tattva Nyasa, right, does a person become qualified to engage in the worship of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so the pramana here is that we should perform this Nyasa, and if we don't perform this Nyasa, we don't actually have the qualification to perform. So even we heard this before with Buddha Shuddhi also. we have to do the Buddha Shuddhi, we have to do the Matrika Nyasa, we have to do the Keshavadi Nyasa, and we have to also do this one. So this is not anything new. Every time a particular aspect is being described, mostly it'll say that we have to do this, otherwise we don't have the eligibility to perform the worship of the Lord. Okay, so let's continue on with text 119 to 121. After completing the Jiva Tattva and the Prana Tattva nyasas on the entire body, one should perform the nyasa of the mind, false ego, and state of consciousness within the heart. Then one should perform nyasa of sound, touch, form, taste, and smell on the head, face, heart, anus, and legs, respectively. Then one should perform the nyasa of the ears, nose, skin, eyes, tongue, and life air in these respective places. So again, this is very, very much like the installation of the deity. But instead of the deity, we're performing all these actions on our own body before we can become purified enough to worship the Lord. Text 122 to 123. Then one should perform the nyasa of the sky, fire, water, and earth on the head, mouth, chest, genitals, and legs. Then one should perform the nyasa of the heart, the sun with 12 colors. Remember when we were talking about the conch shell, the worship of the conch shell involves these Surya Mandala, Soma Mandala, and Agni or Vani Mandala, right? So these are the three sources of energy or fire in this world: the sun, the moon, and fire. So the sun has 12 colors. The 12 colors are, of course, the 12 zodiacs, or the 12 months of the year. The moon has 16 colors, meaning that it has 16 parts. These colors means parts. So the 16 parts of the moon are the different lunar tithis from Pratama to Chaturdasi, right? From 1 to 14 lunar days. And then the 15th lunar day is split into two. There's two types of 15th lunar day. There's the Amavasya, the no moon or the new moon day, and the Purnima or the full moon day. So all together we have 1 to 14 plus Amavasya and Purnima means 16 colors of the moon. Then the fire has 10 colors. The fire has 10 colors. There are 10 names of different fires, right? That fire is divided up into. For example, so here it's explaining how to do these particular types of nyasas, and it gives examples. So from the examples, we can extrapolate, right? We can work out all of the different permutations by the help of the commentary. Also is going to help us go through all the permutations and actually work out a prayoga for doing this particular nyasa. But here he's just giving some examples. For example, Shamna Mahaparaya, Pundarika Atmane Namaha, Hamna Mahaparaya, Dwara Sakala, Vyapla, Surya Mandalatmane Namaha, Shamna Mahaparaya, Shoda Shakala, Vyapta, Chandra Mandalatmane Namaha, Ramna Mahaparaya, Dashakalat, Vyaptya Vani, not Bani. Here it says Bani, but it means Vani because of the B and V being the same letter in Bengali. Mandalatmane Namaha. Okay. So we'll see how to do this exactly in a minute, but let's just go through the verses as they are, and then we're going to go to a more detailed explanation of how this is actually done. So text 124, then one should perform the nyasa of Lord Vasudeva along with the words Parameshti and Yakara. I'm not sure whether Yakara means, it means the letter Ya. One should perform the nyasa of Lord Sankarshana by adding the letter Ya to the word Pum, right? For example, Ya Namaha Paraya Vasudevaya Parameshtyatmane Namaha and Yam Namaha Paraya Sankarshana Pumatmane Namaha. Text 125. This will all become clearer once we look at the actual prayoga for this. One should perform the nyasa or padyumna on the chest with the word Vishva and the letter La. one should perform the nyasa of Aniruddha on the anus, right? And once again, any part that we touch, any part which it says to touch, which we shouldn't touch unless we because it's dirty and we have to wash our hands after we touch it. Therefore, we do not touch it, but we instead do it by meditation and place the hand close to that area. So, in other words, we do it by bhava. One should perform the nyasa of Aniruddha on the anus with the letter ba and the word nivritti. That should be va, the letter va, I believe, right? Not ba. Ba. One should perform the nyasa of Narayana on the legs with the letter la. For example, la namaha paraya pradyumnaya vishwatmane namaha. Text 126. One should perform the nyasa of Lord Nrsimhadev on one's entire body with the word kopa. Kopa means anger, right? And the letter sha. For example, lam namaha paraya pradyumnaya vishwatmane namaha. Now, this should be vam. Vam namaha paraya aniruddhaya nivridatmane namaha. And lam namaha paraya narayanaya sarvatmane namaha. And Shrom Namaha Paraya, Shrom being the Narasimha or the Kopa Bija mantra, right? The seed mantra for Narasimha, right? Shrom Namaha Paraya, Narasimhaya Kopatmane Namaha. The above mentioned Tattvanyasa quickly brings one to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Very good. Text 127. Those learned personalities who are acquainted with the science of Nyasa Kriya refer to this process as Tattvanyasa. By following this procedure, even ordinary activities bestow tangible results. Text 128. A person who performs Tattvanyasa certainly becomes purified. The Supreme Lord enters within his body as a nyasa because he is the source of all entities and everything present in him. Right. Okay. So that's the end of that section on Tattvanyasa. Now let's look at the actual procedure. Okay. So Tattvanyasa. So we have gone through Hari Bhakti Vilas, fifth Vilas, verses 117 to 128, which describe the Tattvanyasa, and we've gone through the description. Now, we've also gone through the commentary by Sanatana Goswami, and we have therefore come to the conclusion this is the procedure that has to be done. Only after performing this nyasa does one become fit to worship the Lord. This is mentioned in the 118th sloka of this chapter, 5.118. So, okay, so the first thing that we do is, now it's interesting, is not mentioned here any mantra nyasa for this. No mantra nyasa and no dhyana mantra, right? No mantra nyasa, no dhyana mantra. Okay, so but we go straight into touching the different parts of the body with the different hands and fingers. So Om Mam Namaha Paraya Jiva Tatvatmane, Om Mam Namaha Paraya Jiva Tatvatmane Namaha. Touch the whole body with the two hands. Om Pam Namaha Paraya Prana Tatvatmane Namaha. Touch the whole body with the two hands again. Right? This is sometimes called Vyapakanyasa by some in other sampradayas like Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. They call this Vyapakanyasa. It means touch the whole body. If we don't know how to do it, we should start from the head and go down to the feet. There might be some places where they say for different types of people, they might be starting from the feet and going to the head, or starting from another part and going to and doing separately. But anyhow, the whole body is covered with these two hands, with the two hands. Om Bam Namaha Paraya Pranatatvatmane Namaha. Touch the whole body with the two hands. Om Bam Namaha Paraya. Now, remember, we're starting with the letter M. So Mam, Bam, Bam, Pam, Pam, like that. We're going backwards, right, until we get to Ka. So, Om Bam Namaha Paraya, Pranatatvapane Namaha, touch the whole body with the two hands. Om Pam Namaha Paraya, Mati Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Pam Namaha Paraya, Ahankara Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand again. Om Pam Namaha Paraya, Manas Tatvapane, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Nam Namaha Paraya, Sabda Tanmatri Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. So these are all the different things which are mentioned. Om Dham Namaha Paraya, Sparsha Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart, touch the mouth with the right hand. Om Dham Namaha Paraya, Rupa Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Dham Namaha Paraya, Rasa Tatvapane, touch the anus with the right hand. And remember, we don't actually touch any part of the lower body or any of the holes of the body, like the mouth, the teeth, the lips, or the nose, right? Because or for instance, the ears also, because these are all holes of the body and also below the waist. So just by meditation and holding the hand close to the. Okay, so Tam Namaha Paraya, Gadatan Tatvapane Namaha. Touch the 2 feet. Again, don't touch the feet, but touch near the feet, right, with the 2 hands. You're sitting down, so you just need to touch in the area above your dodi, where the feet are, because you've got crossed feet, right, starting with the right foot first and the left foot. It's interesting because maybe the feet are crossed over, so you might start on the left side and then the right side. So, because the feet are crossed. So Tam Namaha Paraya Gandat Tatvapane Namaha, touch the 2 feet with the right hand. Om Nam Namaha Paraya, Shrotra Tatvapane Namaha, touch the 2 ears with the right hand. Om Dam Namaha Paraya Twak Tatvapane Namaha, touch the skin, right, with the right hand. Om Dam Namaha Paraya Chakshus Tatvapane Namaha, touch the 2 eyes with the right hand. Om Tam Namaha Paraya Rasa Tatvapane, touch the tongue with the right hand. Om Tam Namaha Paraya Ghanat Tatvapane, touch the 2 nostrils with the right hand. Om Yam Namaha Paraya Vak Tatvapane, touch the mouth with the right hand. Om Jam Namaha Paraya Pani Tatvapane, touch the 2 hands with the right hand. Om Jam Namaha Paraya Pada Tatvapane Namaha, touch the 2 feet with the 2 hands. Om Cham Namaha Paraya Payu Tatvapane, touch the anus with the right hand. Om Cham Namaha Paraya Upashta Tatvapane Namaha, touch the genital with the right hand. Om Nam Namaha Paraya Akasha Tatvapane Namaha, touch the head with the right hand. Om Gam Namaha Paraya Vayu Tatvapane Namaha, touch the mouth with the right hand. Om Gam Namaha Paraya Tejas Tatvapane, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Kam Namaha Paraya Jala Tatvapane Namaha, touch the genital with the right hand. Om Kam Namaha Paraya Prithvi Tatvapane Namaha, touch the 2 feet with the right hand, right? So now we've gone from Ma to Ka, and now we're going to again do some other syllables, right? The sibilants and the aspirate, for instance. So Om Sham Namaha Paraya Hrit Pundarika Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Ham Namaha Paraya Dwara Sakala Vyapta Surya Mandala Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Sam Namaha Paraya Soda Sakala Vyapta Chandra Mandala Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Ram Namaha Paraya Dasakala Vyapta Bhani Mandala Tatvapane Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Sham Namaha Paraya Parameshti Tatvapane Vasudevaya Namaha, touch the head with the right hand. Om Yam Namaha Paraya Purushatmane Sankarshana Tatvaya Namaha, touch the mouth with the right hand. Om Lam Namaha Paraya Vishwatmane Pajumna Tatvaya Namaha, touch the heart with the right hand. Om Vam Namaha Paraya Nividatmane Aniruddha Tatvaya Namaha, touch the genitals with the right hand. And now we have that Vedic L again. Om Ram Namaha Paraya Sarvatmane Narayana Tatvaya Namaha, touch the 2 feet with the right hand. And finally, for Narasimha, Om Sham, or it could be Shrom, right? Om Ksham or Shrom Namaha Paraya Gopatmane Nansimhatatvaya Namaha. Touch everywhere with the right hand. Okay. So that is the Tattvanyasa. That is the Tattvanyasa. So, any questions about the Tattvanyasa? The Tattvanyasa is the last nyasa. Now, after this, we're going to see probably there's going to be some more discussion of pranayama, like that. So we can, if there's no questions, we just continue on, and we'll look back at the original Hari Bhakti Vilas. So, text 129. Ata punaha pranayamaha visheshaha. So remember, vishesha, the word visheshaha means special. Special. So now we're going to perform pranayamaha again. After these nyasas, we're going to perform pranayamaha again. Now remember the original pranayama that was taught before this, after the Buddha Shuddhi, we did pranayama, but that pranayama was with Omkara, and we were meditating on Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And that pranayama was very general. And we could also do the Vedic pranayama, or there's different types of pranayama that we could do at that time. But that was not a special type of pranayama. Now we're going to learn Vishesha pranayama, which is a special type of pranayama. Now this pranayama is going to be with the Mula mantra. What's the Mula mantra again? Is the Gopal mantra, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha. So we're going to learn a pranayama with that particular mantra. Or we can also use the Klim Bija. We can use the seed mantra Klim, which is the bij or the root, the seed of that mantra. Okay, so what it says here is, thereafter one should practice pranayama for breath control, while mentally chanting the Mula mantra, the 18-syllable mantra, either twice, 4 times, or 6 times, while inhaling, retaining the breath, and exhaling. Right, continuing on. Text 130. If one is unable to follow this process, then one should mentally chant the Kama Bija, meaning clean, 16, 32 times, or 64 times while inhaling, retaining the breath, and exhaling. Right? So here in 129, it's mentioning about the Gopal mantra, and it's saying that it should be... it's mentioning twice, 4 times, and 6 times, but normally the ratio is like this in text 130. Breathing in is slow, holding is twice as long, and breathing out is quite quick. Is half the number of seconds as breathing in, half the time of breathing in. So we have breathing in 32 times. This is with the Klim Beach, the Kama Beach, holding 64 times and exhaling 16 times. So here in the first sutra, in the first verse here, when it talks about the Gopal mantra, the longest time here is 6. So that would be for here. It's not quite clear which number is for which activity. So we would suggest that 4 times in, 6 times holding, and twice out. Right. Okay, so then text 131. And this is according to Kramadipika. Remember that this whole process of worshipping of Krishna using the Gopal mantra is according to the Kramadipika by Keshava Kashmiri Bhatta, right, Animbakacharya. And this Kramadipika is very, very central to the worship in Hari Bhakti Vilas. The initiation, the Diksha is done according to Kramadipika. The Purascharya, or the perfection or city of the mantra, which comes in the 17th Vilas, is according to Kramadipika. The installation of the deity involves some things from Kramadipika, and also the deity worship in general involves the Kramadipika procedure. So here we have another statement from the Kramadipika. Text 131, one should exhale through the right nostril, inhale through the left, and retain air within the lungs for as long as possible. These 3 acts are called Rechaka, breathing out, Puraka, breathing in, and Kumbhaka, right, holding. These should be practiced 16, 32, and 64 times. So holding 64 times, breathing in 32 times, and exhaling 16 times. So this is the statement of Karma Dipika. So now we know that that is the ratio. That is the ratio. The ratio is breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in 2, holding 4. So 1, 2, 4. Breathing out 1, breathing in 2, and holding 4. Okay. So now the rules for practicing pranayama. Okay, text 132. In the same literature as stated above, which means Kramadipika, right? This is very important. Expert devotees practice pranayama before and after chanting their mantra. So whenever we're doing mantra japa, or whenever we have to do puja, we have to first of all get the qualification for doing the puja, for using the mantra to do the puja, right? So therefore, we're going to be performing pranayama before and after we chant the mantra. Expert devotees practice pranayama before and after chanting the mantra. Each time, one should complete all 3 procedures. All 3 procedures. The 3 procedures again being Puraka, Kumbhaka, Rechaka, or if you like, Rechaka, Puraka, Kumbhaka. The exhaling, inhaling, and holding, or as it normally comes, inhaling, holding, and exhaling. A person who practices pranayama 16 times every day for 1 month becomes freed of all sinful reactions. Okay. So that's the end of that section. And now we're going to look at the actual procedure for doing that. So we just have to pull that up. Okay, so we have we're talking about Kama Bija and or Mula Mantra Pranayam, which is the Vishesha or the special type of pranayam. And this subject is mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilasa, 5th Vilasa, and we just went over those verses 129 to 132. These can be practiced, like all pranayams, by first exhaling, then inhaling, then holding, and finally exhaling again, or first inhaling, then holding, and finally exhaling. The first method is preferred. So the first method is more orthodox. That is first exhaling and then starting fresh, right? Rather than inhaling first. First of all, we want to get rid of all that bad air, and then we get some good air in, and then hold and then exhale. So there are four processes in the first method. I think that's clear. We talked about that before. In actual practice, a lot of people, they start out with the inhaling, holding, and then exhaling. But more orthodox people will start by exhaling, then they'll inhale, hold, and exhale again. So Mula Mantra Pranayam is given in text 129 of the 5th chapter of Hari Bhakti Vilasa. One should practice the pranayam by chanting the whole 18-syllable mantra, 4 times inhaling, 6 times holding, and 2 times exhaling, right? So again, how do we count? There's ways of counting on the hand, or segments of the hand. But what I prefer to do is I prefer to use the fingers and fold the fingers and unfold the fingers, right? So if we're doing, let's say if we're doing the very orthodox method of first exhaling. So we would exhale, we'd hold the 2 fingers the little and ring finger of the right hand against the left nostril. We're going to first of all exhale. So when we exhale, we have to chant the whole Mula mantra twice while exhaling. So we would chant Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha in the mind. Then we hold with the thumb on the other side of the nose. And then we open the left side and we're going to breathe in through the left. And inhaling, we have to say the Gopal mantra 4 times. Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha. Then close. In our mind, we have to say 6 times. Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, 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 Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha. Open the right side with the thumb and breathe out again twice. Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, Klim Krishna Govinda Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, Klim Krishna Govinda. That's enough. Twice. Okay. So that will be one round of Mula mantra, Astadasakshara, Gopal mantra, pranayam. That is a special type of pranayam. Now, people usually don't perform the Mula mantra pranayam. Usually what they do is they prefer to do the Klim Bij pranayam. Klim Bij is much easier. When trying to do the breathing part of the exercise, to actually meditate upon the whole Gopal mantra in the mind, that might, if some people might be able to do it, but that's a very difficult thing. So instead, to simply repeat the Klim Bij, Klim, 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 is much easier. As we saw in the earliest type of pranayam, the standard pranayam, which is just done with the Omkara. Om, 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 om. Very, very easy to chant this in the mind. And therefore we can count them very quickly and we can get the pranayam done. So if one's unable to do this, or as well as this, he can practice. He can also do both. He can do both. He can do the Astakshara and he can do Astadasakshara, right? The 18-syllable mantra, and he can then also do the Bija mantra also. In which case, probably he's going to do the Bija mantra pranayam first, and then he's going to do the full Gopal mantra pranayam. So both can be done. Both can be done. But in case the full Gopal mantra pranayam is difficult to do, it's suggested that one do the Kama Bija alone, which is Klim. So we have to do it by, again, 32 times inhaling, 64 times holding, and 16 times exhaling. So once again, if we did that in a very orthodox way, where we made it into 4 parts, first exhaling, then inhaling, then holding, then exhaling, right? So we then, again, we're going to breathe out through the right side of the nose, right? So we're going to breathe out. And while we breathe out, we're going to do 16 klims, right? So once again, counting can be done with 4 klims per finger. So if we say klim, 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 and put 1 finger down, 2 fingers down, 3 fingers down, 4 fingers down, every time we say 4 klims, then we get 16. We put all 4 fingers down, right? And if we do the fingers up again, right? Then that will be 32. And if we do that 2 times, then we'll get 64, right? So here we go with the Klim Bija pranayam. So the Klim Bija pranayam in a very orthodox way, first exhaling will be only 16 times. Klim, 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 klim. Inhaling is going to be now through the left side is going to be 32 times. So klim, 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 klim. Holding will be 64 times. Klim, 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 klim. That's 64 times, right? And then again exhaling 16 times. Klim, 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 klim. Finished. Touch the right ear. The purification. That will be 1 round of pranayam. And then normally pranayam is done three times, 3 rounds, except for instance, in Vedic Sandhya Vandana, when we might do it more times than 3. But in normal practice, pranayama is done 3 times. So there are 3 rounds of that. So now we're talking about doing 3 rounds of Astakshara, of Klim Bij pranayama, and perhaps 3 rounds of Gopal mantra, Astadasakshara pranayama, right? Before and after chanting one's mantra, Gopal mantra, one should chant these pranayams 3 times. That's stated in Hari Bhakti Vilasa 132. So before we chant Gopal mantra, we have to do this pranayam. At least one of them. At least we have to do the Klim Bij pranayama. We have to do it 3 times, 3 rounds. That's in Hari Bhakti Vilasa. Okay, so that is the pranayam. That is the pranayam. The next thing we're going to talk about is mantra nyasa. Pita mantra nyasa. Pita ratna nyasa. Pita mantra nyasa. A good thing to do would be to learn, first of all, learn the ordinary pranayam using Om, right? Or just straight up learn Kama Bij pranayam. Learn Kama Bij pranayam, because, like I said, probably not very many people are going to. What's the most important out of all the nyasas and all the things that we discussed in the last couple of classes? Okay, first is the Buddha Shuddhi is quite important, and I've given already a form with the full thing in it, and then with a couple of different ways to do it in a simplified way. We all know the very, very simplified way of chanting Naham Vipro Nachanana. We all know that, right? What we don't know is we don't know the method given in Hari Bhakti Vilasa, the full method. So what I've given certain stages. I've given I've given some cut down versions of it. So you can start off by learning. If nobody knows a type of Buddha Shuddhi, they should definitely know the simplest one. But then the next one up and the next one up, until you finally get it. If you want to finally learn the full Gaudiya Buddha Shuddhi. So that's important. Buddha Shuddhi is important. After that, I would say you have this thing where Keshav Maharaj has said that mudras and pranayam and nyasas are not important, that they're part of Japanga Archana. Maybe he's talking about that we should all be doing Raganuga Archana or whatever. We should do puja according to Raganuga Bhakti. But in Hari Bhakti Vilasa, if you're going to follow Hari Bhakti Vilasa, pranayama, nyasas, and mudras are all there. They're there. So what are the most important, what's the most important pranayam? After Buddha Shuddhi, what's the most important pranayam? The most important pranayam would be either the Gopal mantra or the Klim Bij. Seeing as none of us are probably using Gopal mantra as for our worship, we're probably using a mula mantra like Klim Krishnaya Namaha or Shrim Klim Radha Krishnabhyam Namaha, a combined mula mantra if we're worshiping Radha Krishna, right? So we're not probably using the Gopal mantra. The only time when we actually get to chant the Gopal mantra would be 3 times a day when we chant the Gopal mantra, right? At Sandhyas. So in that case, if we want to add to our meditation and our chanting at the time of Sandhya, we should probably do this Klim Bij pranayam. At least the Klim Bij pranayam, not necessarily the Kamadev Gayatri. I'm sorry, not the Astadasakshara, the Gopal mantra pranayam, but at least the Klim Bij pranayam, because it says here in Hari Bhakti Vilasa that you should do it before and after you do that. You chant the mantra like that. So that's the time when we'll be chanting the mantra 3 times a day for meditation. Otherwise in puja we're probably not using it. So we might not want to do it in puja, but we are using the Klim Bij. So we might want to do it as a part of puja, the Klim Bij. So the Klim pranayam would be my first thing that I would learn that first. And that's probably something that you would use and you wouldn't use the actual full mantra pranayam. Apart from that, all the other nyasas are, I would say the Matrika nyasa, which comes first, is less important because it has to do just with Saraswati and the different forms of Saraswati. But it does, the internal version of that does bring us into this whole idea of the chakras and the kundalini, and so it's an interesting meditation, and so it's just up to you if you want to learn that. The next one, which is important, is the Keshavadi Nyasa. The Keshavadi Nyasa is good. So then the Tattva Nyasa on top of that is on top of the Keshavadi Nyasa. The Tattva Nyasa is also nice. But so that would be my order of learning. My order of learning would be, first of all, we need to learn Buddha Shuddhi, some form of Buddha Shuddhi, even if it's just the easiest form. Second of all, learn Klim Bij Pranayama. Then third of all, if you still want to do some more things, Keshavadi Nyasa and Tattva Nyasa. But, you can certainly do it another way. You can certainly say, well, I'm just going to take it from the beginning. I want to learn all of them. So I'm just going to take it from the beginning and I'm going to learn it sequentially. That's also a way to learn it. I just say that, to me, what seems to be the most important thing is the Buddha Shuddhi and the Klim Bij Pranayama, followed by the Keshavadi Nyasa and the Tattva Nyasa. We got a lot of other things coming up, which are also important. So these are just preliminaries also. Remember that. So we still haven't got to worshipping the deity, actually touching the deity, and offering upacharas and services to the deity. That's obviously more important, right? If you don't know how to do that, you have to learn how to do that first. So maybe we wait until we've gone through the full worship of the deity, and then we can sit down and we can say what's most important. And obviously, acharyas like Bhaktisiddhanta and Srila Prabhupada, in their padatis, in most of the padatis, it comes down to, even Bhaktivinoda in his Sanksheptarchana Padati, it comes down to just offering the services to the deity. And all these preliminaries end up just being a matter of taking a bath and putting on tilak, and it's not, we don't get into at all doing any of these things, even Buddha Shuddhi. So it's just up to the individual how far he wants to take it. But for those persons who already know how to worship the deity, how to offer the different upacharas, different services to the deity, these are little niceties that you can add and to enhance your own meditation and to enhance the deity worship. If you have time and if you want to do it, then do it. If you don't have time, or if it seems too difficult or too superfluous, or your mind's wandering, when you're doing it, then obviously it's not good. It's not important. If it's detracting from the deity worship, the deity's sitting there and waiting for you to do all these things before you can serve the deity, then it's not important, right? Okay, so anyway, I think we'll leave it here because this is a natural place for it to end. We're going to start the next time. We're going to start talking about Pita Nyasa, which also has got a little bit of a meditation to it. And then we're getting closer to actually offering the different services to the Lord.
Thank you, Swami.
Yep. Okay. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.